Yeah, well, I can, because it's always been like the people who I meet along the way, sort of, I get on with them and they go, oh, yeah, I have some work and whatever. And it was the same with them, they sort of came to the station I was working at, and I was sort of put with them to work with them, and I got on with them, and it just started off with me sort of putting the CDs on and playing the adverts in and all that, and sort of as the weeks went on, when they were talking, when the songs were on, they were like, what do you think of this? And I was telling them, they said, oh, do it on the air and all that, and I was a little bit like, oh, I don't really want to go on the radio and that, because I'd done all that and been fired from it. And so they were like, no, do it, it's different, we can do what we want. And yeah, so that's sort of how it happened.
And what are they like? What are Stephen and Ricky like?
Yeah,
you can be honest with us, Karl, because we're a long way away.
Yeah, well, I can, because he's not going to hear it. You're miles away, aren't you? But no, they're all right. I mean, Ricky's the one who I probably speak to the most. I sort of see Steve maybe, a couple of times a week, but Ricky, I speak to him like every day, maybe 2 or 3 times a day. If I don't go around the office, he sort of calls up and what have you. And I mean, people think, oh, it must be like good being mates with him, but he can be pretty annoying.
He likes teasing people, doesn't he?
Yeah, once he finds a person's weakness, he'll sort of mess about and annoy you and all that. And I mean, just the other day, I went round to the office, and he said, where are you going now? When we'd finished, I said, oh, I'm going home, which was a mistake really, because I shouldn't have told him, because he doesn't know where I live.
Right.
So I don't want him to know, because he'll come round and press the buzzer and all that and wake me up at all hours and stuff. So I thought, I'm not telling him, and I wish that I should have just said to him, oh, I'm going to another meeting or something, but I didn't. I said, I'm going home. So he said, oh, I'm going to follow you, right? So we're walking like through the streets of London, and I start walking faster, and he starts walking faster, and then it gets to a point that I start running, right? and then people are looking, because whenever anyone's running, you sort of look, don't you? You think, well, why are they running? Is there trouble or something? It's not a normal
what are they running from? What are they running to?
Yeah, well, that's it. I mean, if you've got like shorts on and a t-shirt, you might be keeping fit, but I had like a big winter coat on, and I was legging it, and then they're
always looking over your shoulder.
Yeah, well, that's it. And I'm looking, going, oh, is he keeping up with me? And every time I turned round, he seemed to be quite close, but he wasn't running, and I couldn't understand how he was doing it. But it was every time I turned away to sort of run, he started running, so he was chasing me. People were looking at him.
It's a classic pursuit, isn't it, that one?
Well, yeah. I mean, but I was knackered. I mean, I don't do any running. You sort of stop running.
He doesn't sort of come. Ricky Gervais doesn't seem to be the person. It doesn't seem to me like someone who does a lot of.
Well, he started doing a bit. He started doing a bit more, because once you start getting known,
when he's on the TV.
Yeah. Well, you've got to when you're on the telly, you've got to start looking after yourself. That's what happens to all of them, isn't it? Bruce Willis and all that. Look at him. He's sort of muscly and that now, isn't he?
Almost too muscly.
Yeah. Well, you can have too much muscle.
Overly buff.
But, yeah, it just looks daft. I mean, it sort of works in Australia and New Zealand because you wear vests and stuff, but if you've got to wear a suit, you just look fat. So anyway, he was legging it after me, and I got to the point where, like, I mean, I was giving it my best. I hadn't run for ages, because you just don't do it after the age of, like, 16, do you? It's something you do as a kid, isn't it?
There's no prizes or anything after 16, no certificates or ribbons or anything, is there?
Well, this is it. It's kind of, if you're still running after 16, you're an athlete, aren't you?
Yeah.
So I like I say, I keep running and what have you, and I get home and my throat's burning because I've been like running and that breathing. It's all about breathing.
London air as well. Yeah.
The London air, yeah. I've probably got all sorts of diseases and that. And I get in and my girlfriend's like, "What's up with you?" Thinking I'd been running away from trouble, and I said, "Oh, it's Ricky. Ricky was following me home." And she wanted to go out, and said, "We can't go out yet, so we've got to hang about for another 5 minutes or so, because he might be waiting outside." So that's, I mean, when you say, is he a good mate? That's the sort of mate he is.
Would you ever have thought in your life, Karl, that there would be a book called The World of Karl Pilkington?
No, that's the weird thing. I mean, like I said, I hardly ever picked up a book, never mind sort of having one out with my name in.
About the world
and, yeah, I mean, that's a bit daft though, isn't it? Because I'm only like 30 odd, so it's like when people bring out biographies and all that when they're 23, it's like, you know, I don't understand why people do that, but, yeah, the world of Karl Pilkington and that, I don't know, it is pretty impressive, and like a copy of it's gone into into like the London Museum. There's some museum there. I don't know if it's the same in New Zealand.
So it's lodged. It's lodged for history, for all of history. All
yeah,
the
it's there
time.
forever. So if the world blows up and all that, and then some alien lands, and they go, well, what's been happening on this old planet? And they go in the library.
What was hot in 2007? And
yeah, they'll go, well,
big Christmas book.
That didn't last. That died out. But I mean, I don't know.
That guy there carried the podcast, they'll say.
Yeah. I mean, it's. I don't know how long it lasts, because there's always new stuff coming out, the new technology and what have you, and it's just about making things smaller now, and it just seems to be all the big ideas have sort of happened. All the sort of
we've run out of ideas.
Well, we have, haven't we? It's that thing of, you know, years ago there was loads to go at for cavemen. They had whatever they came up with, they could have ran with. Whereas now it's just about making things smaller. Like the iPod, it's not got any better. They just keep making it smaller, but our hands aren't getting any smaller. It's just more awkward to use, isn't it? You see, there was a thing here called Tomorrow's World.
Yes.
And what it was about like technology in the future.
Yeah.
But because we've done everything, that's not on anymore. That program's not on because they've got nothing to talk about. Because it'll just be, there's a smaller iPod out. So, you know, like I say, they've just run out of ideas, so they've stopped all that.
And it was supposed to be easier, wasn't it? Like I say, we're supposed to be sitting around on holiday. We're supposed to be, you know.
But we don't do it. We just sit around faffing with little gadgets and stuff and
panicking about.
Yeah, we are busier. Yeah, I mean, I was speaking to someone else in New Zealand, and they were saying how you've got an iceberg problem or something. I don't know if they were winding you up.
It's an impending iceberg problem. Hopefully it's not going to get too much worse, but no, they took a sheep out on the iceberg, and they got shorn. They shared the sheep on the iceberg. What? They shared the sheep on the iceberg. There
wasn't any sheep on the iceberg.
They took it out. They helicoptered it out there, and they put it down on the iceberg as a publicity stunt. Like, oh, look at us, we've got a sheep, and let's take it. We drug the sheep. You might have heard of the sheep, Shrek the sheep, popular sheep, and they took it out to the iceberg, and they shared it on the iceberg, and it's kind of scuttled right across, and the sheep shearer said, "Oh, it was like standing on wet, cold glass." Oh yeah, a bit like ice, you know.
What? So how long has it sat there for?
Oh, long enough for them to share it, take some photos, and a big bit of the iceberg to crack off while they were there and scare the shit out of them, and then look out.
That's good that they're sort of making a bit of fun out of a disaster.
Well, it's not a disaster yet, you know.
No, but you know, if a big meteorite comes plunging towards us, I'm just wondering if they'll get a sheep on it just to lighten the mood a bit.